Okay, so we're going to talk about quadrilaterals. And quadrilaterals are polygons that have four sides. So a polygon is any shape that is two-dimensional, it's closed, and it has straight lines. And we have two different ways to show these quadrilaterals. But the quadrilaterals are anything really with four sides. And so I'm going to zoom in here, and you can see that here are some different names for quadrilaterals, but really it's anything that has four sides. So there's parallelogram, rectangle, two different types of trapezoids, rhombuses, and squares. So that's everything up here, and it is the different types of quadrilaterals. You can see up here I have some other ones that are drawn as well that don't really fall into any category, but they have four sides, and so they are quadrilaterals as well. Here's an example of one. It says 1, 2, 3, 4 sides. Okay, but then quadrilaterals, the special quadrilaterals that have characteristics such as if they have two sets of parallel sides. So it's a quadrilateral, has four sides, but two of those sides are parallel to each other, and parallel sides can go on and on forever, never touch. And so if you look under parallelogram, you can see the parallelogram, the rhombus, the rectangle, and the square are all types of parallelograms. What's not a type of a parallelogram are these trapezoids over here. And the trapezoids are not parallelograms because they only have one set of parallel sides. So it could be the right side's parallel to the left or the top's parallel to the bottom, either one. But they're not parallelograms, they're trapezoids. But then you can have special types of parallelograms. And so if you'll look underneath parallelograms, you'll see some special types of parallelograms are rectangles. So rectangles are any type of parallelogram that has four right angles. And those are the angles that make the perfect square in the corner. So two types of rectangles are squares and rectangles, of course. Same thing, another type of special parallelogram is a rhombus. And rhombuses have to have four equal sides. So sometimes people think that they have to be like a square that kind of fell over. They might call it a slanty square, but that's not true. A rhombus could be a square. It just has to have four equal sides. And then last we have squares. The squares can be small, they can be big, but they have to have four equal sides and four right angles. And so they are a special type of parallelogram. They're a special type of rhombus, special type of rectangle. When they have four equal sides and four right angles, that's a square. So as you can see, a square can go by many names. It could go by a rhombus, it could go by a rectangle, it could go by a parallelogram, it could go by a quadrilateral. It could not go by a trapezoid. A rectangle can go by several different names also. It could go by rectangle, it could go by parallelogram, and it could go by quadrilateral. It could not go by a rhombus, and it could not go by a trapezoid, and so forth. And so what's important to know that all squares are quadrilaterals, but not all quadrilaterals are squares. Same thing is all squares are rectangles, but not all rectangles are squares. For example, a rectangle that has all equal sides is a square, but a rectangle that has two sides of one length and two sides of another length, that's just a regular rectangle. So hopefully this helps you understand quadrilaterals a little bit better.